Hi. Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet and welcome to Friday Fun Live. Today's a very special day. It's also Good Friday for those of you who celebrate with us. Such a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. Even though it's definitely a somber one for us to remember, but one for which to be giving so much thanks. Well, let me go ahead. I have, before I even welcome you guys, well, I want to say welcome, but before I get into welcoming you by name, I just wanted to, we need to do some finished business from last week. Last week we made another $100 goal for our charitable giving. So thank you so much for those of you who've contributed to the super chat and who have helped me to also challenge me to be a little bit more generous. And just thankful that working together, we've been able to give another donation to the Rancho 3M place. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Archer and Ace. I so appreciate that. Let me go ahead and write that down, getting us started on the next one. But and we also added a donation to Samaritan's Purse, who just to the general fund this time, who are helping with worldwide disaster relief just in fabulous ways. And it's an organization that's near and dear to my heart. So thank you for helping me to be able to match and to be able to, likewise be generous. So instead of doing a parody, I thought it would be more appropriate if I did something a little more traditional, a little more classical this morning pertaining to Good Friday. So I wanted to just play a song for you on my flute. Oh, Sacred Head Now Wounded. I can't even say that title without getting emotional. One of my favorite songs, especially for a Good Friday. And this was written by a gentleman named Bernard back around, he lived during the time of 1091 to 1153. So this is a very old song. Very old, very old song. And it was translated into English by a man named James Alexander back in 1830. So this is definitely not a pop song. This is one that many of you may know. And if you want, you can look up the words online. They are available everywhere. Very meaningful. I'm just going to go ahead and play a couple verses of this for you. I hope you enjoyed that. One of my favorites. One of the First time I ever heard this was actually on an album by Amy Grant back in the early 1980s. I think it was 81 actually. So anyway, I hope this helps you get a good start to your day. And I also just, want to wish you all, again, a happy, and I mean that, happy Good Friday. And I just also want to wish those of you who are celebrating Passover, I wish you a just very blessed observance there as well. Well. What's going on, guys? Let me go ahead and back this up and see who is in our chat. And, oh, Brat's mom's. Good to see you in the chat, Linda. And Angie. And Angie Kokovanis, is that, if that's where you say that? Thank you for your greetings. I have a little bit of unfinished business with you. I have a book for you. And I have some winners to announce because I went ahead and pre-decided by number the winners from the feed. I'm using my live feed. Some of you may have a different feed. It might be pop top feed. There are different ways to see the comments below. But Angie, I have one of these for you if you're in the U.S. If not, I have a substitute for you. So if you all are in the U.S., Angie, I have one of these. This is from last week. You were our last week's winner, and I didn't hear from you, so I assumed you probably were gone by the time we gave these away. So I wanted to let you know. This is the textured super scarves. And I have a video coming out soon, in a couple weeks. I'm not exactly sure of the date yet, but I recrocheted the super scarf on the front page here using a smaller yarn. I made it a little bit shorter, but I used a really pretty Noro yarn, and that's the yarn that I use in the demonstration, in the video tutorial that'll be coming out. So anyway, for this particular design that's coming, let me go ahead and show it to you again for those of you who may not have seen it before. The pattern is one of my older Leisure Arts leaflets, and there are 4 patterns total in here. And I think if you're interested in getting this, I do have a link in the video description below. And this is only like $3.99, I think, is what the physical leaflet costs from Leisure Arts. So if you're interested in getting a copy of that, I do have a link in the video description. But I went ahead and I also chose this week's winners. I chose 3. Brat's mom, since you were the first. Red Hooked, you were the 7th person. And Kelly Hart, you were the 12th person. So I predetermined those numbers online. So before I went live. So congratulations. But what I need you 3 to do, and Angie, is send me an email. And my email is in the video description. It's bonniebay@me.com. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and type it into the feed here. So you 3, if you could just please send me an email so I can get your mailing address and pop this in the mail to you later today. All right, let me go ahead and finally get to the greeting part. This is the part I love the most. So we have Brat's mom. Again, congratulations, Brat's mom. So she is with us from a beautiful sunny Southwest Chicago. Yay, it's in the suburbs. Wishing everyone a blessed Easter. Yeah, it's kind of a typical, speaking of weather, it's just kind of a typical Good Friday here. I just remember as a kid, it used to always rain and get cloudy, and I just felt like that was so appropriate. And right now, it's very dark looking in the back of the house, and we're expecting more rain. Have had some rain today already. But that's on the heels of like 3 glorious days of almost summery weather. So I can't complain. This is great. I don't know whether to put the heat or the cool or the AC on, but it's nice. I'll enjoy this cooler weather for a time because knowing that the hot weather is coming. But we did enjoy the 80-degree weather yesterday. So we have Angie in the chat. Hey, Angie. Again, send me your email so I can get this book to you. And Alana, happy Easter to you too. Thank you so much. And love to crafts. Always good to see your hand waving in there. And Wanda Gordon from Bahama, North Carolina. And he said, where the sun, the capital SON, is still shining. Amen to that. I absolutely, Wanda. I love that. And yes. And Jacqueline LaFridge, so good to see you. She said it's a beautiful day in Los Angeles. And Red Hook from Ravenna, Ohio. And Heather and Kelly Hart, she says from Tucson, Arizona. And Kelly, don't forget to send me your email, sweetheart, so I can get this to you. I can send it to you to Tucson. And Esther, so good to have you in our chat today. One of our admins that has been very busy helping her mom and I know doing other things, working. It's so good to have you, my sweetheart, my sweet friend. And she says, oh, Kelly says she's making some Victorian fingerless gloves today. Wow. I would love to see a picture of those. Those sound complicated, Kelly. And Esther's saying she loves Victorian style, and she made a scarf from that era. Love the way it came out. And that's great, Esther. And yeah, Kelly says it keeps your hands warm when it's cold outside. Yeah. And Swati, so good to see you in the chat. She said, gonna miss today's live, but we'll catch it late. Well, hi, as you're catching us late. Hope everyone is well. Happy Friday from sunny LA. Swati, we're praying for you. Hoping you were, just that condition. Just praying for you. Just you will be doing all right, my friend. And Archer Nace, as always, so glad to see you, Terry. Think about you a lot, and Beth as well. And Wanda Gordon, thank you for just greeting my daughter. And you have Josie in the chat from Northern California, finishing up the Baby's Love Cables blanket today. How is everyone? Well, I hope everyone's well. I think we're doing well here. Gonna be a good day. I hope you enjoyed that blanket. I really, really enjoyed designing that one. And Beach Girl says, I'm attending the reading of the last 7 words on this Good Friday, even though it always breaks my heart. I hope you enjoy Easter and faith renewed. Thank you so much, Beach Girl. Yeah, it's it's a somber day, but it's just a good day to reflect, on all that we've been given, through his sacrifice. So, yeah, keeps us humble. And again, thanks again for that super chat donation, Archer Nace. And Nancy Brewer from Oregon, hello there. And Denise, so good to see you in the chat. And Diana from Virginia. And let's see, Margita and Freaky Geek. Well, happy Easter to you too. My goodness, I'm so glad to see you in the chat. And Hannah, thank you so much for being there, just faithfully for us every week, keeping everybody encouraged in the chat for us. And Brenda, McChristy, so good to see you. Welcome. If this is your first, I don't remember seeing your name before, but forgive me if you've been there before. But if you all are new, welcome. Feel free. If you've never been to the chat, feel free to comment below. I try to get to as many as I can. Sometimes I don't get to everybody, but I really do try. And Stacy, a W, welcome to our little online group, which is a wonderful group of people. And Ola Joe, the crocheting sailor, I love that. Good morning to you. And oh, thank you, Denise, for reminding. If you don't mind doing the thumbs up, that would be great. Looks like 33 people have already. That's wonderful. It just kind of helps to those little bots behind the scene to know that there might be something good going on here and to share it with others. And Phil, good to see you in the chat. It's been a while. Maybe I'm getting confused, but I'm so glad that you're here. And Fat K, hello to you. And Ellen, thank you for your good wishes there. Good Friday and happy Easter to you too. Oh, Archer Nace says she's doing the first reading at her Good Friday services. That's wonderful. Hold on one second. Let me check on something here. That's, hold on. All right, just I'm getting, I'm just going to step out in faith here. I'm getting a word from my daughter, Becky. She's leaving work today because her back is absolutely killing her. If you guys could think of Becky, please pray for her. She has a job where she stands on concrete for 8 hours a day serving others, and she's also expecting a child. She's in her second trimester, so it can be pretty hard, and her back's been giving her trouble. So if you guys could kindly pray for her, those of you who pray, I would so appreciate that. Let me let her know that. Ugh. I can't type. All right, so now let me get back to set this back to Hannah. So I don't want to miss your text, Hannah, when you text me. All right, we have Michelle Garbowski. I probably mispronounced that. I'm sorry, Michelle, but Michelle, so glad that you're here. And let's see, Judy. She says, hello, all. My Bible study group moved to 11 on Fridays, and I'm able to attend because they aren't doing one today. Happy Good Friday, my friends. Well, great, Judy. We're so glad to have you back. And Shakita Woods, so good to have you. Thank you. Thank you for your kind word there of encouragement. And Lisa, yeah, thank you, Lisa. She's wishing any fellow Jews in the chat, absolutely. Happy Passover. Absolutely. Years ago, I remember when my kids we were doing homeschool, and we did a history co-op, and one of my friends, it's a Christian family, but it was also a Jewish family. The husband was raised a devout Jew, and later converted to believing Jesus as the Messiah. And we were able to go to their house for a Passover Seder, and it was pretty amazing. So, and you all know I just went to Israel this past year and just had just a wonderfully meaningful time, just all the way around. Just historically, every time I open the Bible now, and today actually opened the Bible and was reading in the book of Acts where Paul is shouted down by the people who worship the idol Artemis, and there was almost a riot at the theater there in Ephesus. Well, I got to sit in that theater and hear the word of God taught. So I mean, that was just amazing. I mean, it's like I'm reading the Bible, and it's like I've been here, I've walked on these streets, I know what he's talking about. So it's just yeah, we do have a very, very close kinship with our Jewish friends, and I respect you guys so much. We're standing on your shoulders in many ways. I mean that in the best possible way. All right, so let's see, where was I now? I got distracted by your great comments here. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. That was a very kind comment. And Aniska, if I'm saying that right. Well, happy Easter to you too. And oh, thank you, Ola Joe. She said, I love the flute. My youngest daughter played and was in the band. Yeah, I just can't get it out of my blood. I know I would love to practice more, but I just can't put it down entirely. It's just a part of who I've been for so many years. And oh, thank you, Phil. Thank you guys for your kind encouragement. And I am way behind here on this. Well, let me go ahead and tell you just a little bit about some yarn, and then I'll get back to saying, hey, I want to show you some yarn. These are a few samples. I have 10 of these that I got from Barocco. So I want to say, shout out to Barocco. Thank you for sending these to me. For those of you who aren't familiar with this yarn, this is Barocco Vintage. It is a worsted weight yarn, which is a number 4. Let me go ahead and show you the number 4. Okay. And this is one of my favorite yarns. It's a very, very nice yarn. If you're ever looking to go up a step from 100% acrylic. This is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon. This is machine washable, lay flat to dry. Don't put it in a dryer. But this is probably my favorite step up yarn. It's not so expensive that it breaks the bank. It's still economically priced. The feel is wonderful. It's very durable kind of a yarn, so it's a little bit higher quality with the nylon and the wool mixed in. But it's every bit as soft as some of the softer acrylic, and I believe it'll hold up better. But anyway, I'm going to be remaking an older design. Many of you are familiar, and I have a picture. I'm going to show you this. People have been asking me online, so I decided to show you a picture. I have a design called the Inishman poncho, named after one of the Aran Isles. And it's been in my online stores for years. It's a paneled poncho, 2 panels, and crochet them together and then add a nice cozy collar at the top. And so I'm going to actually remake this with this yarn. And for those of you who've ever made this, I'm actually going to make it a little bit longer this time. I'm going to widen the Celtic weave sections on this poncho so that it will be more coverage on the arms and a little bit longer. So I'm going to have 2 size options on there, just regular and longer. And what's really great about these ponchos is they fit such a wide range of sizes. Yeah, it's just a cape. It's just a cape you throw over yourself. But anyway, so thank you again, Barocco, for your vintage yarn. And if you've never tried their vintage, they also have their vintage yarn in DK weight, and they also have it in sock weight. Now, I got to try that at a recent yarn tasting, and it worked up very well. And let me show you what else I found. I showed this online. It's a whole box of this, okay? And I was at my Goodwill store, not intending to buy yarn. I was actually looking for another rack like this, like a quilt rack, so that I could use for my upcoming time I'm going to tell you about in just a minute in Frederick at the Frederick Fiber Fest on April 22nd. I'll go ahead and tell you about that. April 22nd, I'll be at Frederick Fairgrounds for the Frederick Fiber Fest, and I will have a table. I'll have many of my books available for sale. I will also have samples that I have made. They're like models of the work of past designs that I'm just trying to clear out space, just because if I keep everything I make, if I don't give it away or sell it, it becomes a storage problem. So I want to try to, and they've been stored properly. So just to let you know, I'm going to have a lot of those. But I found a whole box. I mean, the box came with this, and this is Queensland collection. I believe this is, it's spun in Italy, but I believe this is an Australian brand with that name, Queensland. It's called Leche, which is another word for milk. And let me talk you what's in here. This is 109 yards each. It's 40% extra fine merino wool, 30% microfiber, which would be kind of like an acrylic kind of a content, 20% milk protein, 10% silk. I mean, this is a very interesting combination. Let me go ahead and, I don't know if it'll focus on that so that you can read that. So the good news for me is that I got this entire box originally online. Each of these sold for about $7 to $8. You can find them. This is a discontinued yarn. So you can't really buy it from the manufacturer anymore. They're not making it anymore, but there is a lot of it on Etsy. Again, I've never used it. I'm going to use it probably for something just for fun around here. I can't design with it because you guys can't just go out and buy it. But I'll use it for something, for a special gift for somebody at some point. But each of these normally is about $7 to $8. Okay, I got this box, and it's all very clean yarn. It was actually preserved very well. I got 23 balls of yarn for $15. So I just couldn't pass that up. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you my find. It's not very common to find things like this at the Goodwill store. Usually, what I've found at Goodwill, Salvation Army, places like that are just, balls of acrylic red heart, Caron. Just, there's nothing wrong with that. But if I'm going to buy that kind of yarn, I'll just buy it new and buy as many as I need, not just one. But just to find such a collection, I mean, this is enough for maybe a sweater wrap, who knows, or even a very nice blanket for somebody. And I was doing a little bit of reading online about the milk protein. I never really, I don't know much about it. I need to do more research on it, but it apparently is very good against the skin. It's supposed to have some properties that kind of, I can't even, is it antimicrobial properties? So take that for what it is. I mean, it's only 20% of the yarn. So I don't know how effectual it is to have 20% antimicrobial. But I thought that was very interesting. And it sounds like this would have been a good kind of yarn if you're allergic to, certain things. How it would work being blended with wool, if you're allergic to wool, probably wouldn't be a good idea. But it just sounds like it would be a really nice fiber. Apparently, it didn't sell very well, or it would still be available now. It might be just because people are just not educated. I wasn't educated as to even what that all means. So, but anyway, if you find it online, look it up. Or if you've used this before, let me know. I would love, to learn more and hear what your experience was with this. Again, that was Queensland Collection, the Leche. Reminds me of my children when they were born. They have the La Leche League to help mothers with nursing issues. So interesting. Let me go back to just greeting you guys because I am so far behind. Let's see. Oh, Lynn's in the chat. Hey, Lynn, it's always good to see you in there. She calls me gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I love you, Lynn. She was so sweet. This is being thankful and grateful to God for allowing me to be a witness to his glorious sun shining and wind blowing. Perfect day in Chicago. Excellent. You're such a, I love most of you, all of you are, but I'm just saying Lynn just is exceptional with just her praise and her encouragement towards others. And I just so appreciate that. One day we got to have lunch. And let's see. I think I'm catching up to where I was here. All right. That. Beth is in the chat. Hey, Beth. Thank you so much for your sweet comment. And let's see. Okay. And then we have Poppy Anderson. She's hi, Bonnie from Poppy and Snowy, Utah. Thank you so much. Thank you. You enjoy your Good Friday. Thank you for your encouragement there. I so appreciate that. And Linda Jones, she says, well, I'm finally on from way up in Portland, Maine. I just changed phones, but I watch on TV. Yay. Wow. So glad that you're here with us, Linda. And, oh, you guys are so sweet. And Judy Quillen says, happy Good Friday, Hannah. Hope you're doing well. I've missed being because okay. Yeah, I got that one. Yeah, great. And Darlene from Eatontown, New Jersey. She says it's cloudy and 54 degrees. Yeah, it's about what we have here too, Darlene. It's just kind of one of those thoughtful days. Oh, thank you for your comment about the scarf, Denise. This is, by the way, let me grab this. This is the Abigail scarf. I've worked the Abigail scarf over the years in many different yarns, different color combos. So this was just using, one kind of a multicolored yarn. And for those of you who are new, many of you reached out to me and said, "Can you make that into a baby blanket?" So I said, "Sure." And we've made the Abigail baby blanket. And this is on my channel. It's been there for a couple weeks. And thank you for giving it so much love. Um, and for those of you who've purchased the patterns, I so appreciate that. So the pattern is available in my Love Crafts and in my Etsy store. And of course, if you're a watch subscriber, that's the watch.bonniebaycrochet.com. It's a paid subscriber channel. You are able to get the patterns that I post complimentary. But this again, you've seen this before. I showed this to you for the last few weeks. But I love the way it came out. I did use the self-striping yarn. It's called Baby Mandala or Mandala Baby, one of those by Lion Brand yarns. And I used two cakes. And yes, I did manipulate joining the two cakes. When I ran out of one, I joined where the other one left off. So I had to roll off a little bit of the yarn to join it so that it would continue in the same color pattern. And there's plenty. If you buy two of those cakes of yarn, you have plenty of yarn with which to do that. So, oh, thank you, Freaky Geek. And we have Gail Dawn with us. And I like, that's a beautiful name. And Mary Ford McCourt. So good to have you back with us. And Wanda Gordon, you encouraging everybody. Thank you so much. And Jacqueline, you too. And thanks again, Nancy Brewer, for your comment on the scarf. And Lynn, congratulating everybody. Thank you. I know I'm a little late. And Chris Little, thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words of encouragement there. And Love Flower, welcome. She says, full sunshine in the UK. Wow. Enjoy it, because when I was in the UK, I'm trying to remember if we ever saw the sun. I know we did, but it was not a frequent happening. So enjoy that glorious sunshine while you can get it there in the UK, Love Flower. And Wanda Bigelow, so good to have you in the chat. I've been thinking about you. You're on my list, girl, to pray. And she says it's a great day here in Oregon, although it's a little warmer. Yeah, wow. Well, I'm thinking of you, Wanda. I hope you're doing well and finding fellowship and everything there. I hope you have a good time this weekend. And Sharon Archer, she says it's also cloudy and in the 50s where she is in New Jersey. Wow, 80 yesterday. Yeah. And we're on the same weather pattern. You're watching that big front come through yesterday. And Jeanette, she says, hi from West Virginia, and that it's cold. Yeah, it's definitely colder today. Hannah says it's a beautiful day there. A nice breeze and sunshine. Last day before the rain comes for the weekend. Yeah, so you're on the tail end, I guess, because the Northwest, we get it, and then I guess it moves down. But yeah, South Carolina is a fun place to be. I said this last week, but I feel like I've gone through spring twice now. I've gone through when I went down to South Carolina on my last time to relieve Hannah, the daffodil, and that was like in March. The daffodils were full bloom. I got to see them go to past peak, and then other flowers come out, and everything covered in a film of yellow. And then I come back home about 3 weeks ago, and things are still, like winterish. And so I got to see the daffodils come up again, and now the tulips are up, and now my car is covered in a yellow film again. So yeah, it's like deja vu all over again. It's kind of fun. And Fat K says, hello I'm from France. Wow. Well, bonjour. Welcome. I love your country. Love visiting years ago. Actually, 2019, got to see a little piece of France when I was over in Geneva. And took a little drive with my husband. He loves to do that. Loves to just get in the car no matter where he is and just drive. Even here in Maryland. It's kind of funny, I have to tell you, one of our favorite things to do is just get in the car and drive up the road a piece to our favorite restaurant called the Black Hog. And the food is excellent there, but the ride getting there is amazing. So we just like to get in the car and just drive and just enjoy the countryside for 20, 30 minutes before we have our dinner. So probably won't be doing that today. I've already got something prepared for tonight, but yeah, it's so much fun. Anyway, all that little thought of France just triggered that. Just get in the car and drive. And Stacy W, yes, you have a good day too. Thanks for joining us when you can. And Alex Connolly says, "How are you all? Doing well, Alex. Thanks for joining the chat." And Nancy Brewer and Patty. Hey, it's good to see you, Patty. And Denise says it's 42 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Wow. And oh, thank you, Michelle, for just reminding people again, and Love Flower on the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Looks like 53 people have hit that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I just wanted to say, if you're new to the chat, don't be shy about jumping in. We love to have new people here. Be sure that you are logged into your YouTube account so that you can do that. It just gives a little bit of accountability for everybody. And Michelle M says, "Good morning. Can't stay because I'm taking my daughter to therapy." Was praying for your daughter this morning, Michelle, and the baby. Just wanted to say hi to my Friday crochet friends. We'll watch replay later. Well, please give your daughter a hug from us, okay? We are all thinking of her, and you too. And I'm just inspired by the way you serve others in that way. I know many of you in the chat, Hannah, especially, just working behind the scenes, serving in the most humble ways, doing things for people that they can't do for themselves. And just know that you do that for an audience of one, no matter where you are. If you're caring for, I know there's another lady in our chat who is caring for her husband with Parkinson's, and you don't do that alone. I know that you do that for his eyes as well, and just pray for comfort for you all, and just encouragement that you're doing an excellent work. Oh, thank you, Wanda. She says, "Always something good going on here." Yeah, such a great group of folks, Wanda. That's what makes it so good. I've seen a lot of other chats on other channels, well, some chats on other channels, and I tell you what, it should have like a viewer rating, of like I don't know, PG-35, or I don't know, maybe even rated R at times. But you guys are just perfect. Just such a, I can't even come up with the right words. But anyway, all right. And Nancy Brewer is out in Oregon. Wow. For those of you who don't know, Wanda, I don't know if no, it's a different Wanda, but no, it's Wanda Gordon, right? Right. Let me check something. Yeah. Let me look at my prayer list, and I'll tell you if it's the right Wanda or not. Yeah, Wanda Gordon. She drives a truck everywhere, and she drives a tractor trailer, and she was one of those dear souls that kept us supplied during the pandemic, and continues to do that. So thank you, Wanda. Looking forward to seeing you again at some point at a conference somewhere, maybe. And speaking of conferences, let me go ahead and give you some dates. Let me keep the glasses on. I already told you about Fiber Fest. This is April 22nd at Frederick Fairgrounds. That'll be from 9 to 4 p.m. Again, I'll be there somewhere with my table. Look for a big Bonnie Bay Crochet standing sign, and I'll have books and some, I've told you, some crochet items for sale. These will be finished models for sale. And okay. And I saw something about sending an address to a live. Hold on a second. Thank you, Hannah. I understand. But anyway, where was I going? Okay, April 22nd. So I will have items there. I let you all know last week, but I'll just say it again for those of you who may have missed last week's live. I had mentioned that I was going to be at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, which is the first Saturday in May. It's actually the first Saturday and Sunday, but I would only do Saturday. I've had to cancel that appearance at the author's tent for for this year, just because I just need the time to serve my family. I just need to be traveling during that time, and so hopefully, if you're in the Maryland area, maybe you can, if you want to try to meet, I'd love to catch you maybe at the Frederick Fiber Fest instead. But maybe next year, I hope to come to that. I'm also scheduled for the Interweave Yarn Fest in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is Amish country, August 2nd through the 5th. And I'm also scheduled for Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. Their list of classes has been released, and I'll be posting about it on social media in the near future. But that's in Green Tree. It's outside of Pittsburgh, outside of Pittsburgh, August 24th through the 26th. So I tell you that it's outside of the city proper, which makes it much easier for parking and so forth. The parking is free, and there's plenty of it right there at the hotel. And it had a fantastic yarn market. 2 or 3 rooms that I recall, and one of the rooms was very large last year. So lots and lots of yarn vendors, lots of fun related items as well being sold there. And Lord willing, I will be at the DFW Fiber Fest. That's in Irving, Texas, September 14th through the 17th. That's a 3 day, 14, 15, 16. Okay, it's 4 days. Yeah, in Texas. So looking forward to that. So that's pretty much all my newsy stuff that I have for today. I don't think there's anything else. Well, there's probably other things I'm forgetting, but one other thing, I have replenished the Bonnie's Beginning Book of Crochet. I have added that back. I mean, it's been available on Amazon all along, but I didn't have it in my Etsy store. For those of you who don't know, I have an Etsy store with this book and many others, and I that's when I'm in town, when I'm at home and not off serving the family. So I do, send out signed copies, and I can personalize them for you or for a friend, however you wish. I do that through my Etsy store. So if that's something you're looking for, I will. They will be available until, I guess, throughout April, but early May I'm going to be taking them off my site again, just temporarily as I travel, because it's just hard to travel with all of that. All right, I think. All right, so. Okay, thank you, Hannah. I have a separate feed for my administrator, making sure that everything is okay. And thank you for praying for Becky, Terry. I so appreciate that. She said they have inexpensive mats at Walmart for that. It makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, I think she just needs to do something different. But if you could just pray for her, just for wisdom, for her family, that would be fantastic. Lots of things need to work themselves out. But anyway, Freaky Geek says, sounds like she needs the back police. Feel better soon, young lady. Thank you, Freaky Geek. That is so kind of you. Okay, let me see. Kelly wants to know if I've gotten her email. Let me see. Let me see. I got your email through my, yes, Kelly. I did. I'll respond to you just to let you know. I'll respond to you after the live chat, okay? And get back to you so that you can send me your mailing address. That's all I need. But I'll respond to you so that that you can do that. I know there may not have been a place to do that on the form from the channel. All right. And Diana Hamblin, thank you so much. Happy Easter to you too. Um, and thank you, Love Flower. You're so sweet. Yeah, Freaky Geek. Yeah, she said something about comments disappearing. Um, I just want you all to know too. When I was setting up the chat, I always set up the chat to have the bot filter the comments that might be offensive. So sometimes if your comment doesn't show up, that could be why. It's not Hannah, it's not me. It's the automated system that we engage just to keep certain, just to kind of help protect the chat a little bit. So anyway, that may have happened, Freaky Geek. I don't know. And there are certain words that we use in crochet, like in referring to, like the other word for skein, like we might say a ball of yarn or instead of a skein, and sometimes it filters stuff like that out. So just be aware. It's, we're not out to get anybody. It's just one of those robot kind of things that does help a lot, but it's not perfect. It's like autocorrect. We all have issues with, excuse me, with autocorrect. You know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so Freaky Geek, just know we love you. It's not anything personal, I promise. Mary Ford said the colors of the blanket, this blanket are Eastery. Yeah, they really are, aren't they? It just kind of reminds you of Easter eggs and all those pretty colors that you see at Easter. Um, yeah, kind of fun. Oh, thank you, Virginia. Virginia Martinez says, still swatching. Ooh, I love that baby blanket. It was fun to make. I'll just say that and leave it at that. I know you're not supposed to praise your own works. You're supposed to let others' lips do that, not your own. But it was fun to make. I will say that much. Um, we have Janet Sutherland. She says, Hiya, Bonnie, new follower from sunny Scotland. First time watching you live. I'm new to crochet and not venturing far from Granny Square. I find your work inspiring. Well, thank you, Janet. I just want to encourage you that mistakes are okay here. I make plenty. I've not been able to shake being human in some ways, and once in a while it reaches you guys through patterns, and unfortunately, but when that happens, I try to kibosh it, and we try to fix things right away. And that's, yes, even with professional tech editing, the human condition apparently is prevalent amongst all of us. But that said, mistakes are allowed, and it's just yarn. So feel free to make your mistakes and have fun with it. Okay, from Linda Jones. She says, Bonnie, a few weeks back you had mentioned, I believe, a merino or alpaca yarn that had silk. Plus, I forgot, I think visco. I didn't write it down. Where did you say it could be purchased? Ooh. Ah. I'd have to think about that, Linda. Linda, why don't you email me and we can think this out together? I work with so many different yarns. I'm not sure what I might have been talking about. Um, Wait a minute, let me think. It could have been a sock weight yarn. I have used some online indie dyer yarn that has a merino wool with silk combination. I also have used some that have silk, merino wool, and yak. So if you want to just email me, bonniebay@me.com, and just remind me of the conversation in the email, I can, give you solid links to where I've been able to get yarn like that. But honestly, and let me tell you how I get enticed by some of this yarn is I go to fiber festivals. Of course, attending them makes it really helpful to make relationships, with help meet other people and so forth. And that's where I learn more and more and more about yarn is by talking to the yarn vendors, talking to yarn store owners who just have way more knowledge about yarn than what I'll ever have. And but yeah, but email me. I can send you some links. I'm thinking the some of these, like the shawl behind me, the palatial prisms shawl, um, the Eileen shawl uses that combination of yarns. So if you wanted to look at the video on the Eileen scarf or shawl, you can click on that and look at the video description. And I do have information on where to find the yarn in that. And there's another, yeah, and there's some other local indie dyers here where I've used that silk merino wool combo and just really, really love it. And what, let me see, what's the name of that other, the purple? Well, anyway, there are many others where I've used combinations like that. So email me. I can point you in the right direction. Um, Freaky Geek talking about cupcakes, eating the cakes and used balls of yarn. Yep. Um, and okay, good. Here's a good question. Mary Ford McCourt. How do I change my billing information on the watch site? It's a new payment number. Um, Let me know. Email me if you need help on this. I don't have. I'm not able to look at. I don't. I need to check with my husband. He kind of runs some of that. But if you go to the watch page and go to your personal account, to your account settings, you should be able to change all that information. That's where you can do all of that. And if you decide that it's not for you, not a problem. And that's also where you can change all that information. But you should be able to update the information. Just go to your account when you go to the watch page. Okay, and if you need help getting there, email me, Mary, and I can help you with that. I'm happy to try to help you with that. I can look at it with you. Archer Nace would also okay. Okay, thank you. Archer Nace, I got your message for Becky. I don't know that she has a personal registry yet, but I will let you know when I find out. I think I may have asked her about that the other day, but I think there's maybe just waiting a little while longer. But I will let you know. I will check in with her about that, and yeah, and let you know. All right. Okay. Let's see. What time is it? Oh, 12:52. Let me just see. I just want to check to see if there's anybody new in the chat. Thank you, Nancy, for your sweet comment. And just want to make sure everybody feels welcome. Oh, Paula from Ohio. Wow. Thank you for being here, Paula. And Sheila Ridge from Brooklyn, New York. Welcome, Sheila. And Denise says, that little drive with your husband sounds wonderful. Yeah, Denise, and since I just feel really blessed because a couple years ago I got to buy my dream car, which is a little two-seater convertible. It's a little Mazda, and it's just so much fun to just jump in the car, put the top down, and just go. And when the weather's good, and it's the last couple days have been wonderful to be able to do that. It's just so freeing, so much fun. It's just a I really get that I don't know, whenever I feel sad, just kind of just don't know what to do next and just kind of get stuck. I know you knows what I'm talking about because you guys are creative and I think it's just kind of is it runs with creatives sometimes and yesterday was one of those days. So I just said, I'm getting out of here. So went to actually drove to Costco. Not too exciting, but it's just fun. It's just fun to get out and getting there is fun. So yeah, thank you, Hannah. Yeah, I'm keeping up. Um, I think let's see. Lisa Rose says when I was younger and gas was much cheaper, I used to get lost for the day. Just jump in my car, usually with a friend, and go. I'd be gone from 8 a.m. to after dark. My favorite. That would be my husband. He would do that every day if he could. In fact, before I knew him, he drove from South Carolina all the way across the country out to California and back twice. I haven't ever done that. But and that was in a very tiny Honda Civic back in the, it was like a late 70s Honda Civic, and those things were like really tiny. But it just really blessed the car that I have. Even though gas is expensive and I have to use high test, it still gets about 40 miles to the gallon. So I love it. It's just so much fun to drive. It's getting chips of paint off of it, and it's getting wear and tear, but that's why we bought it. It wasn't to sit in a museum somewhere, it's to wear the wheels off of it. We've already had to have the brakes redone. So I mean, just it's just fun to get out and drive. Ah, Ashley Foster says, I'm late today watching it, but I'm glad. Hope you're having a good day. I'm so glad that you're here, Ashley. And let's see. And Freaky Geek says, joy rides are great when you have the time for them and nice weather. Absolutely. Absolutely. It just makes me feel like a teenager getting in this and just getting out there and driving. So much fun. And Lisa Rose says to Hannah, I used to blast music and stop along the way to take little hikes and always had my professional camera. Got some amazing shots on those days. Lisa, I think we would get along really, really well. Because, back in those days, gas was cheaper, but as you recall, photography was not. You had to pay for every little, with the getting the film developed. I was big on. I used to carry my Pentax K1000 everywhere, which is a very basic camera. There was nothing automatic about it. I had the focus. I had to set had its own built-in light meter. I had to set the aperture and focus for every single picture, and I absolutely loved it. Remember a relative telling me, when you get children, you're going to have to get an automatic camera. And I might have just smiled back, but in my heart, I was like, you want to bet? And anyway, yeah, that can rise up in my heart too. And so I just got some great shots with that camera too. Of course, now I have to wear glasses and have correction for vision. So I am thankful for all the automatic stuff I can get at this point. But back in the day, it was all just very raw, very basic, but enjoyed every minute of it. Hey, Sheila, she says, I'll be going to the Lancaster interview event. Yay! Please stop by and say hi. You don't feel pressure on taking my classes, but if you want to, you are so welcome. But even if you're not taking a class, please just come by and say hi. I would love to meet you. Oh, thank you, Brad's mom. She says, I love your channel. It's nice to find a safe channel with no smut. We try, Linda. We try. We are trying real hard. Yeah, like a salmon swimming against the stream, but we're okay with that. God gives grace. And let's see. We are almost ready to go here. Nodula's in the chat. I just had a bunch of, it's good to see you, a bunch of new comments load. Um, she says she's been able to do, thanks to you, I've been able to do a variant of the white baby blanket behind you, but inspired by the Abigail shawl and the Liberty shawl. Oh, I would love to see that, Nodula. That's great. And Lisa says manual film cameras are still the best, just very expensive. I wish I still had my dark room. You know what, Lisa, you're going to find this interesting. The house where Hannah stays with Grandma Barker, when they built that house back in the late 70s, they built it with an upstairs dark room just for that. Of course, it's used as an extra bedroom now because it's a small bedroom, but it has all the pipings and everything set up for all the chemicals of a dark room. That was just really cool. My brother-in-law still has the enlarger stored in the closet there in South Carolina. So just a little bit of trivia. Those of you who don't know anything but digital photography, I know you have no idea what I just said, but I have to tell you this. I had a fantastic, Lisa and I are having this conversation now. Had this fantastic teacher back in junior high school in ninth grade. And I had an extra class, I didn't know what to take. So I took photography in shop. It was one of the shop classes, and it was the best class. That and typing and band classes are the best classes I ever took in school. I could have skipped all the rest and have been just as happy. But this guy taught, this is taught us in the best possible way. We made a camera out of an old coffee can using positive photographic paper. We did some fantastic things. He taught us how to develop the film, and then we also developed, using the enlarger, and in a dark room, developed many, many, many photographs and learned about the processes of that. And that was just priceless to me. Learned a bunch of other things in there too, but the photography was my favorite. All right, okay. This is a crochet channel, just to let you all know in case you've wondered. Lisa says that is awesome about the room upstairs. So I would totally live in that room if it were still set up for a dark room. Well, all you need, though, Lisa, if you wanted to set that up for a dark room, all you needed to get is a couple tubs, for water and a set of your trays and your chemicals, and set up the enlarger on a table, and you'd be good to go. Yeah. And Stacy wants to know, will you be near Cincinnati this year? I love Cincinnati, Stacy. That's where both of my mom and dad were born and raised, and I have loved visiting Cincinnati. And that's where one of my publishers, before it got switched to Penguin Random House, was based out of Cincinnati. Actually, F&W Media was just outside of the Beltway there in Cincinnati. But I don't think so. I think the closest I'm going to be is Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I don't know that that's any closer than Gaithersburg, Maryland is to you. But I think, the closest is going to be, Lancaster, or maybe even Frederick, where I'll have my table. But yeah, it's a good 8 hours or so to Cincinnati from here. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to see if I miss anybody. Oh, we have Mrs. Debbie LW. She says, sorry I'm late. It's so good to see you in the chat. And Sandra Harper wishing everybody a happy Easter. And Nodula as well. Thank you so much. And Nancy from Western New York. Wow. Well, let me go ahead. It is getting late, so I want to go ahead and finish. I like to try to keep to about an hour, although it's really hard because I could just sit here all day and chat with you all. I wish it was more of a Zoom format so we could see each other and do that. I may have to do that sometime in the future, but let me go ahead. I wanted to read just a small paragraph. Okay, and my daughter just said she's going home. So guys, please pray for Becky. Her back is really bothering her. She doesn't usually miss work unless things are really bad. I'm going to be reading from one of my favorite devotionals. It's just a very short, small read. It's Beside Still Waters. This is by Spurgeon, C.H. Spurgeon, or Charles Spurgeon, if you need the first name. And this is from page 12, based on the verse Exodus 16:15. But I just thought this was really good. And it also references Hebrews 9:26 through 28. And he writes, "Dear friend," and again, this is written to Christians. These are written to people who are trusting in the Lord Jesus. And since this is Good Friday, I thought this was very appropriate. He says, Mr. Spurgeon writes, "Dear friend, you and I are greatly pardoned. Look at Calvary, and if you can see through your blinding tears, behold the sacrifice. He has appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. And as it is appointed for men to die once, but after this the judgment, so Christ was offered once to bear the sins of many." So I hope that's an encouragement, something to think on and meditate on as we near Sunday. Story's not over. Just remember that Sunday is coming. Yes. Well, anyway, you guys have a fantastic Easter, a wonderful Passover, for those of you who celebrate, and I hope to see you next week. God bless. Bye bye.